This week we're kicking things off by doing a little bit of history around the 1906 earthquake in San Francisco that destroyed so much of the city. And we learned, in fact, it was the fire that caused most of the issues rather than the earthquake itself. And then we're heading on down to our weekend in Monterey and Carmel, stopping in Santa Cruz first of all, and letting you know whether this is a place that you should come and visit. So let's get started as we head out on the road again. Hi, we're James and Rob, and this is our dog Oscar. We love travel in all its forms, so join us on our next adventure as we head out on the road again. Okay, yeah, so this is the golden fire hydrant that saved much of San Francisco during the earthquake when the fires were all raging. So let me just try and zoom in on that. You can read that. Apparently every year it's repainted on the date of the anniversary of the fire. Some nasty person's put graffiti all over it.
On the internet, you should be able to find photos from this corner of Dolores Park. It was the fires after the earthquake that really destroyed much of San Francisco, not the earthquake itself, but so many gas lines were leaked. Yeah. And so you could see pictures if you turn around of people standing on this corner of Dolores Park, and you see the flames and the smoke, and it was coming towards the city this way.
Wow.
But this fire hydrant was the first one that was still able to be used, and it saved this whole portion of San Francisco from the fires.
Wow, how amazing. So do these fire hydrants ever get used much anymore?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do they?
We still have a surprisingly large amount of house fires. So many parts of San Francisco, on this north side of San Francisco, you'll see the older architecture of buildings that were built pre-earthquake, whereas things that are closer to downtown on the other side are all newer construction since after 1906. San Francisco is the first city that had cable cars, and that's because of the hills, because the horses could bring the carriages up, but oftentimes they would be crushed on the hills down, or they would slip, so they couldn't be lasting. So they created the cable cars here in San Francisco, and then it went worldwide. But this is the only city where they still have the using cable cars.
Amazing.
That are still used by everybody.
We are at Alamo Square Park, and we've come to see the Painted Ladies, which are these 7 Victorian houses with the skyline backdrop in the background, and here is the park. I guess lots of people come to watch the sun go down and look at these beautiful Victorian houses. Everybody, welcome to Santa Cruz. We picked up our rental car this morning from San Francisco. Drove out of town, and we've driven a slight detour to stop at Santa Cruz. How long? It's probably taken us an hour and a half to get here.
Yeah, about that.
And there was a lot of roadworks which delayed us about 15 minutes. But anyway, we have come to see what Santa Cruz has to offer on a cloudy day, and it's a weekday. But you can still see it is
the whole of Monterey Bay.
fairly busy. Oh yeah, so that's Monterey Bay, is it?
Yeah, this is all Monterey Bay. So we're at the top of Monterey Bay, and it goes all the way down.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is over there. I don't know if it's an island or another part of the bay. I don't know.
There's a fun fair here that looks quite fun. And there's a pier over there. And we're going to go and see if we can find our way around.
Let's go to the pier.
Okay.
It'll be a lot quieter than this. This is quiet.
So we just walked up from over there where you can see the Pleasure Beach and the fairground, which is where we parked just behind there. We've walked round to the pier, and this is a weird pier because you can actually park on the pier, and it's much cheaper than where we just parked. So there we go.
Little tip.
And if you want to walk into town, which we're going to do in a minute, you're going to walk about 20 minutes in that direction over there. Apparently that takes you into town, but we're going to have a wander down the pier first of all. So you can't take your dogs on the pier, but you can take your car on the pier. And so this pier appears to have lots of cafes and restaurants, probably of seaside quality as you'd imagine. So, and I'm sure on a sunny day it would be really pretty here, but on a grey day like today it feels a bit, I don't know, although the beach is really nice, lovely sandy beach. There's a few high school seniors on day trips out today, which is why there's a lot of kids around. And of course it's the Pacific Ocean, so it's probably warm. So this is where we are on the Santa Cruz wharf, and supposedly it's the longest wooden wharf on the coast of the United States. So we are right at the far end by the beach, and you can see all the way down to the end, so quite a long way down there, but of course you can drive if you can't be bothered to walk. It's weird. So as you walk down the wharf there are lots of shops selling typical seaside wares, boat rentals, and I think some restaurants. Nice. Who wants one of those? Those if you're a teapot collector, they're impressive. Otherwise they're somewhat tacky. You can get a good view of the fun fair over there. Okay, so we've walked about 15 minutes north from the seafront, and we've now arrived in downtown Santa Cruz. So we're going to try and find somewhere for lunch. We just noticed there's tons of construction going on, so these are projects that were postponed from the pandemic and they're catching up now, but there's lots of roadworks and lots of construction. So this is downtown. Lots of coffee shops, places to eat.
Well, we should walk further away.
Hopefully we're going to find one shortly. So just wandering through town, looking for a cafe that's recommended on TripAdvisor. But yeah, we just say we quite like downtown Santa Cruz. So if you do come to Santa Cruz, make sure you come to the downtown area, which is way less sort of tacky than the seaside part of it that we started in. You saw where the pier was. So as I said, it's about a 15-minute walk from there, directly north, and you come into downtown Santa Cruz. So we've just had lunch at the Walnut Cafe, which was nice. Had a salad. Now we're wandering further into Santa Cruz, and we both feel like it reminds us a bit of Brighton, sort of the lanes area, lots of independent shops. There's the Santa Cruz cinema with its old, you can see that through the trees, and there's lots of shops off these lanes. Lots of the things that we were hunting for when we couldn't find them in San Francisco, like little independent coffee shops. So yeah, Santa Cruz town is worth coming to much more than the beachfront. So we're just wandering back from town, which is about a 20-minute walk, and you can see it's looking a lot brighter now, and the beach is packed with people playing volleyball, which is really nice. And as seems to be a pattern here, that it's been grey in the mornings and the sun has come out in the afternoons, but it's definitely warm. It's only warm enough to be in a t-shirt like James is now. Just a piece of advice, if you do come here, we parked in the main Broadwalk car park, which is easy to park, but it was $20 for the day. But there are lots of other on-street parking options or cheaper parking options than that, and you can park easily in town if you want to go downtown, which we definitely recommend doing. And Santa Cruz is usually a place you could spend a day, or at least half a day, exploring. So put it on your itinerary if you're driving around this part of the coast. And like us, if you're driving from San Francisco to Monterey, then this is a good stop-off point for lunch, for coffee, and for a mooch around. James and I have both been desiring donuts, but have we seen a donut shop? Absolutely not. James never eats things like that, so when he does, we have to latch onto it because there won't be that opportunity again. But of course, we're going to see loads of donut shops later on when we don't want them, but right now we've not been able to find anything. So as I say, if you're parking, don't use the big main car park by the boardwalk. It is $20 for the day, but as I say, there are a lot cheaper places than that. So that is Santa Cruz, and over out for now. Next week we're heading on down to Monterey, where we explore this beautiful area, do the scenic 17-mile drive, and show you around the best parts of Monterey and surrounding areas. So join us next week as we head out on the road again.